Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. In fact, it's episode 1 of the second season of What Does Danné Say? You know, I've been in this industry for 57 years. I've seen everything come, a lot of things go, a lot of things come and go and try to come back again with new technical drag. I'm somewhat of a skeptic if it's not changing somebody's lives or if it's not enhancing the career of a skin specialist, esthetician, or doctor. If it's a ripoff, if it's a phony, and if it's good and not particularly of my device, I'm the first one to say something about it. So this show is called What Does Danné Say? And what we're going to talk about now is a new process called ChromeZyme. ChromeZyme is a follow-up to StemZyme. Most of you have heard about StemZyme. It's now globally becoming more and more popular. It took 7 years to develop, and finally we released it. It's different than anything ever done before. In fact, we can truthfully say it's a pioneer project, never been done before. And it took a village to do it, not just me. Now, ChromeZyme comes along because of hyperpigmentation. Hyperpigmentation is becoming one of the world's leading skin disorders. A reason why is even people such as Asian people, Latino people, Black people, who have pre-protection via their own genetic makeup against solar damage and so on, are breaking down with hyperpigmentation. The ozone layer, which was our protection from the more harmful rays of the sun, is going away. And it's not coming back. Unfortunately, it's not coming back. So that doesn't mean we can't do things to circumvent the attack. And I've seen more basal cell carcinoma, more everything in this last 5 years than all the other years of my entire career. So ChromeZyme has come just in time. It's in the works. It's in development. Most companies, and I don't say this as an attack. I say this as the real truth. Most companies are worried about their stockholders or bottom line or whatever. So they'll sit around a marketing table and, talk about what new product can we develop to sell and what new buzz ingredient, what popular new thing can we include. What we do is based on what need there is. So ChromeZyme, chrome meaning color, zyme meaning enzymes, and StemZyme is a package under DMK-MD. Let me call in Dr. Lokhande. This young man actually is the guts of ChromeZyme. I just came up with a little bit idea. He's the one that actually has all the credit.
So just one correction. Actually, he has everything to do with it because I have heard him for like anything. I was absorbing and I was inculcating some ideas and all that. So the ChromeZyme is a product of it. So his experience in this industry is not even my chronological age. So I can't say anything about it.
Stay around long enough.
So here we are taking an opportunity to introduce certain new terms through ChromeZyme to entire industry.
Glad you brought this up because terminology is important. It's a tool. The terminology you use is the very item that keeps the patient compliant, the customer compliant, which is important in the series treatment. It shuts them up.
Yes.
So many women come in, and men, and they know everything. My uncle is a plastic surgeon. They know all the new trendy stuff.
Right.
And they treat the therapist like some little servant that's going to work and pamper poo. No.
Yeah.
So how do we scare the hell out of them? Terminology.
You know that, okay, hyperpigmentation, hypopigmentation, but there are some more terminologies involved because we practically see in the clinical kind of setting that such clients comes in and then we really cannot define what their pigmentation issues are. So we are coming up with 4 or 5 new terms. So first one to begin with is anisopigmentation, ANISO. If you take 2 inch or 2 inch by 2 inch kind of a skin area, and in that area you find certain pigmented area, certain is not, certain is literally hypodense, and certain is hyperdense. So all kind of different diverse kind of pigmentation part is called anisopigmentation. Second is oligopigmentation, means less. Not less like vitiligo or leukoderma, but lesser than what the entire skin tone is. It's called oligo, means less. Third is dyspigmentation, DYS. And it is a painful pigmentation, means what? That if you touch on that malign pigmented area, it hurts. It literally hurts because there is some underneath some pathology going on. And due to that, there is a pigmentation as an reaction or as a skin response to it. It's called dyspigmentation. The fourth one is cryptopigmentation. Crypto means hidden. Cryptocurrency, you might have heard. So crypto means hidden. You do certain treatment, and this typically we see after alkaline wash. In certain patient, you do alkaline wash. First 2 days it's nice even, and all of a sudden third day or the fourth day the big melasma arises, and everyone wonders from where this has come. But this was hidden because skin has a memory. Don't forget that. And it was hidden, but now as the alkaline has evened out the protein function and the memory in the skin, it has erupted. So it's called cryptopigmentation. When you get all such kind of condition in the clinic, don't get scared, because this is exactly why we are defining this term. And you definitely will have the great tool in your hand along with our existing DMK tool to take care of all this areas, and you can very well explain with this term to your client what's happening.
Now, what makes ChromeZyme different? Well, I hate that question. I've been asked that all my life. What makes DMK different? Different than what? The fact is that we focus on a goal. Anything in life that you want desperately, you're working for, is a goal. And if you stop and look around and see what competition is doing or what everybody else is doing, it slows you down. So I don't think about being different than any other company or any other process. I think about what we're doing. Let them do what they do. We do what we do, and we get results. I would say the true difference in ChromeZyme than any other, even any other hyperpigmentation or hypopigmentation treatments that we do, we're even different to ourselves, is its diversity. Okay, other skin pigment modulation technologies lack the diversity of ChromeZyme and largely just target the tyrosinase inhibitor. Remember, melanin is like a baby produced by a couple, man and wife, tyrosinase and tyrosine. And they get together and they produce a child. It's an analogy. It produces a baby called melanin. Now, if you put something in between them in the bed, they can't get to each other. No baby's born. That's an inhibitor. And that's how we started. I actually and I hate to say this because I have other people that say, I created so-and-so. No one's created anything except maybe, you know what, or who. But when I stumbled across kojic acid many years ago, backstory to that was I had a little training center up in the hills. We weren't world famous then. I didn't have a lot of money. Most of it was just research. And we needed models for the classes. And so we had this gentleman come up. He was actually a lab scientist for Flavor Craft Foods down in San Gabriel Valley. And I noticed his hands all the way up to past the wrist were white, as opposed to his naturally browner tone. And I said to him, boy, that's the weirdest case of vitiligo I've ever seen, just this sharp line of demarcation. He goes, everybody thinks that. He said, it's not vitiligo. I said, well, what's going on? He goes, well, I'm working with this new flavor enhancer from Japan because MSG was getting a bad rap back in those days. Oh, you go into a Chinese restaurant, no MSG. Well, there's nothing wrong with MSG, but that's another story. But it was popular to hate it then, so they had to come up with flavor enhancers for people to buy their food. And this was called kojic acid. So I did some research on it, and I found out that it is Japanese. It was Originally supposed to be kind of a natural antibiotic, had other aspects to it, but nobody thought about pigmentation whatsoever as an inhibitor. So I said to him, I said, could you give me a little sample, please? Yeah, sure. So he brought this white powder, kind of off-white powder. I played hell getting it into solution. It was so hard to dissolve into water, oil, anything. It really was a nightmare. But finally we did it, and we put it in products for pigmentation. It really worked as an inhibitor. It caught on all around the world, and before you know it, everybody's using kojic acid. Fine. Since then, many inhibitors have come to the market. So we decided to start looking at pigmentation another way, mostly a faster way. And that's another thing that makes ChromeZyme different, is the speed of the results. So far. That's why a lot of these formulations take a long time. Because not only do you have to come up with the formula within the guidelines of the FDA, the EU, and the TGA of Australia, which is like Nazi Germany almost sometimes. We have all those regulatory boards staring at us. We're well known. And anything that really works, they want to say it's forbidden, because they could maybe use it for a drug later on, make money through big pharma. And that's not a conspiracy, that is real. So we have to kind of tap dance around and pretend like we're just folklore country, formulators doing natural stuff. Well, it's a lot more than that, to tell you the truth. ChromeZyme is revolutionary. It really is. We have no bleaching agents. I hate bleach. Bleach alters the molecular structure of cells. It's toxic. Poor Michael Jackson, bless his soul, did have vitiligo, 80% of his body. You could tell by the bandages on his fingertips towards the end of his life. That's a sure sign of a hydroquinone poisoning. And he was trying to bleach the dark areas left in his skin to match the depigmented areas. He wasn't trying to be a white person particularly. I talked to his makeup artist, and yes, that's what he was trying to do. And he got this cream from a sort of an unscrupulous dermatologist in Beverly Hills. I think he's retired, thank God. Anyway, bleaching is not a road to getting rid of hyperpigmentation. And in addition to this, while we're getting rid of hyperpigmentation problems with ChromeZyme in a completely different way, I'm not supposed to talk about things. I used to all the time. I get all excited and I travel the world and I'd say, oh, we're working on so-and-so. And guess what? All of our distributors would start screaming at headquarters. When is it going to be out? When is it ready? So I can't do that anymore. It will be ready soon. I can only say that. Soon. That's why we're talking about it now, because it will be soon. Usually new protocols or products take us about sometimes 3-4 years. ChromeZyme itself was 7 years, so you may think we're dragging our feet. We're not, because once the formulation is done, then the clinical trials, then it goes to independent testing, and that takes time. And then it goes to RIPT. Now, RIPT, R-I-P-T, is not necessary by law. What it is a possible allergy aspect to the product. We don't have to do it, but we do it because we want to make sure that there's low potential allergy profile. People can be allergic to anything. They can be allergic to lettuce. They can be allergic to good food. So I'd say within the next 3 months or so, I think we will be able to have it in your hands and the protocol that goes with it. The most difficult part of bringing any project to life is not just in the formulation stage, it's in the efficacy stage, in the clinical stage. Because what works brilliantly on one person may take more time with another. So we have to factor all of these things in, because our mission object is to speed up within 3 or 4 days. And that's a bold statement to make. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're challenging ourselves to do. So far, it looks good. We will keep you posted as this moves along. And certainly, when it's ready to launch, I'll talk about it. In the meantime, just remember one thing: knowledge is power. Thank you.